I'm very excited about Angel O'Hara. Angel is a remarkable young man. He literally started a career in construction and custom woodworking, and he was, in the beginning, exchanging his time for money to pay for the growing bills that he had in his family. And then a coworker introduced him into a business, and after a lot of time and dedication, at the age of 23, such an old man. At the age of 23, his business exploded. In the last 14 years, he's helped thousands of people experience the very same lifestyle. Angel owns several different types of businesses, generates millions of dollars annually throughout his networks and his mentoring of people. He's the author of the Bulletproof series and just released his third book called Bulletproof Leadership. Please welcome my friend, Angel, as he comes.
Hello.
Well, it's an honor to be up here with Mr. John Maxwell introducing me. I mean, it's pretty amazing. I used to listen to John in arenas and never got to really meet him in person. And the reason I want to share the story is because when I was growing up, I grew up in LA, in the bad area of Los Angeles, around gangs and drugs and all that stuff. And I got caught up when I was in high school. I got kicked out of high school when I was in the 11th grade. And I also became a father when I was 16 years old. So if you guys got any kids like me out there, there's hope, okay? I can talk to them for you, or if you know somebody. And what happened at an early age, I had to go work in construction. My dad got me a job at a cabinet shop. His buddy owned a cabinet shop. I worked up my way there, became a journeyman, bought my first house at 20 years old. I was doing all these things, but I remember sitting there in LA, in the San Fernando Valley, in 100-degree temperature, sweeping sawdust, and I was like, I sat there and I felt like a failure. And, I was sitting there because when I was in high school, I used to play baseball, and I was getting scholarships to go to these elite schools, they're looking out for to play baseball. And I felt, I just let my mom and dad down. I let my whole family down. And then I got into this business, and I had a mentor of mine tell me, you got to read this book. And I was not a book reader, so now that I have authors and all that stuff, it's kind of funny because the only thing I used to read back in the day was sports. If there's anything sports related, I read it and that was it. I didn't want to read anything else. But he said, no, you got to read this book. And I said, okay, great. What book is it? He's like, this book called Failing Forward. And I was like, oh, great. I'm already a failure. What am I? I'm going to read more about failure? Like, this is fantastic, right? So, anyways, I read the book Failing Forward. It changes my life. It changed my life forever. And that's why I have to talk about that. I have the law of empowerment. But that book empowered me to go become successful regarding my circumstances. Not because I didn't have a college degree and I didn't have, all these accolades and I didn't have all this stuff. And it blew my mind how that was fertilizer for me. And that if I fall flat, 5'9", if I fall flat on my face, I'm 5'9" closer to where I want to be, right? And just get up and keep doing it over and over again. And that's what I was able to do. And that's how I became successful. So Failing Forward, talk about law of empowerment, is what empowered me to go and take that first step. So thank you, Mr. John Maxwell, for writing that book, because that book everyone should read that book. And